extended theory on Einstein's E equals mc squared, basically understanding where it all kind of had to have started, where it came from, where he got the idea. Our creator. We're too intricate. Everything is way too complicated at the same time. The firing of neurons is like the same as a mapped brain of the universe. Our neurons, if you get an X-ray, you go look out in space, it almost makes it identical. So it's really cool. But I kind of was working on E equals mc squared and got it to go infinite as well. You can just add E equals mc, and try, or whatever you want to call it, or keep going forward and forward. I just got into understanding, the terms of mathematics. I love mathematics, but I dropped off in high school at 10th grade. So I just thought I was like dumb, and I never paid attention to, I guess I was done with it. I have very ADHD. High school was not for me. It was just boring, and I just didn't care. I learned enough, I guess, when I was in elementary at all around school, so I just didn't apply myself, which is boring. But all I had to do was figure out what these symbols mean, and then I started moving forward, and I took myself from 10th grade all the way to calculus and trigonometry. Within, I think it was less than an hour, I understood all of it. And now I'm all the way to maximas and minimas and understanding of, like, that's basis of pretty much, it's hypothesis in math. You have this thing, or in anything, you just don't know what it is. You have no idea, period. You've just set this whole little area out. What is this? This is new. I got to figure out its limits of everything. And through that, it's shot in a dark hypothesis. It's easy. But to get to the point of this, so E equals mc squared is basically an understanding of where energy comes from. You take that more forward, you can understand the maxima of energy and what it can be applied to in our universe, current, and even beyond. You just got to keep going with it until you hit the number where it actually goes negative. Once it goes negative, and I've seen it, it does, So there's E equals mc squared, E equals MC1, then it goes E equals MC0, and then you have, but M0 would be considered time and space. That's nothing goes on there. There's no energy and there's no time. It's the only way that time travel would be possible, but no human can experience that. We would die. It's extremely flat and compact in dimension size. It's almost like as if there's nothing there but a thin line, and that's kind of where we originally would be sitting on, I believe, and then it goes backwards again. So then it would go to a negative, and that would be the other side, which is the northern and southern hemispheres. So it's understanding how time works on our planet, how it's different in different hemispheres. It's different here, but different down there, the time zones. It's because of that thin line, which is in the middle, which is the equator, but you could only reach the absolute zero by bringing yourself to a point of zero energy. That means you'd have to be sitting there, no energy, no mass. You couldn't exist. You'd have to be pure light or pure matter, and you can't do that. We can't do that. I mean, I believe in having a soul. This is our shell that we, the soul goes within and can experience life in. But and like I said, that's infinite. But that's an understanding that he didn't complete the equation. He didn't complete the equation because E equals mc squared became his most cherished, invention to him, understanding of what he could do, splitting an atom. He's got to the point of where energy comes from, and then taking it all the way down to its tiniest, which is the core. And then he wanted to figure out what's in that. Then he figured it's so much energy that it cannot be contained unless around radioactive materials and other elements that can contain the explosion. Otherwise, it would be massive. It would blow us all apart. It would be like a supernova. Exactly, a supernova. But it's weird to think this as well, that if you wanted to meet the creator of everything, that's where you go. You go smaller and smaller and smaller. You don't go bigger and bigger and bigger, because infinite is real, and we're in the third dimension, so go backwards, not forward, and you'll get to the beginning where the creator is. And we already have, I do believe, stupid theory of mine. Again, not really quite stupid, but we've if we did have a creator, and we don't have a chance to really meet the original anymore, the hydrogen collider sent particles flying through him or it and is torn them apart. So that's why we don't really hear too much from our God and religion and faith and stuff, or those who believe in it. It's kind of, because that's what they were doing. They were sending him through magnets, flying at very high speeds through different colors, and different shapes, like the L-shaped one, the square-shaped one, through mirrors, which is also a connection of the dimensions. The last dimension, infinite, connects through the mirror. It is very true that the other dimension behind us, or the last one through, would be the other side of the looking glass. But how can you go through a mirror? I did mathematics that connects all that together, so that mathematics on one side of the mirror would equal a crazy opposite weird mathematics on the other side of the mirror, and equations that solve by 3. So when doing the math, it doesn't make sense here. It's this equation that will not make any sense. But as you do this twisted flip, almost like it's 2 lines, and it's an X this way that flips and connects to the other side, but it's going to have to 1, 2, 3. This equation's going to have to go like a times, then you're going to have a negative, or like it's a 3 plus. Then it's going to go 0. Like, you don't really do anything, but you have to flip it, reverse the entire equation. Then you have to negative it on the other side to whatever mathematics you're applying, and it ends up working out on that side, because that side, the dimensions are opposite. They're wonky, they're funky, they're just like, to live on the other side of the looking glass would be like very, very hard to understand and very, very easy to mess up.